Hello there, I'm Lynn Allen, and I am thrilled to welcome you to the very first AuggieCon. And I know that the Augie board and their army of volunteers and the speakers and panelists have worked hard to make this the best event possible. And I am honored and thrilled even to be part of it. Now, when I was asked to present the opening session for AuggieCon, look, I did not hesitate to say yes, because you see, I've been a part of Augie since, well, almost the beginning, or from the days of Nog, for you aficionados out there, as I like to say. But since they made it possible for anyone to enjoy this event, member or not, as some of you may not be familiar with Augie and who they are and what they do. So let me start right there. Quite simply, Augie is the world's largest CAD and BIM user group. And the name Augie, well, it used to be an acronym. The UGI stood for User Group International. And the A, well, it stood for a certain software vendor. Let's just say that relationship restricted Augie to only discussing Autodesk software. So I'm going to let you figure out what that A stood for. So now, however, Augie it's just a word, and it's no longer an acronym. And as such, they can discuss and present solutions for any design software that they want. In fact, you're going to see some of that during this two-day event. Augie has been around for 30 years now and has more than 600,000 members all around the world, which I think is pretty darn amazing. And their main goal is really quite simple, and it's reflected in their motto: users helping users. And they do this by providing an environment for their members to help each other. I mean, it's a pretty simple concept, but so powerful in practice. I mean, after all, every one of us here today has needed help at some point in our careers, including me. And chances are it was an Augie member that gave you that help. But they don't stop there. I mean, you're going to have some great benefits available to you when you become a member. There are 3 levels of Augie membership to choose from. So there's the free basic membership, which is the most popular option, no surprise. But there are also some modestly priced student and professional plans, which each include all the benefits of the basic membership, but they add in some great perks and additional options to choose from. And one of my favorite benefits of the basic membership is their monthly magazine, Augie World, which is delivered each month right into your inbox as a digital version. Or maybe you are somebody who prefers a hard copy, okay, like me, that you can actually flip through. Well, you're going to have that option if you choose to become a professional member. Here's one with yours truly on the cover. At that time, we were celebrating the 20th anniversary of my first Augie World interview way back in 2002, which was in the 2nd issue ever. So I have a trivia question for you. I just said that I was on the 2nd issue. Do you happen to know who was on our first cover? All right, put your guesses in the comment box, and no fair cheating, no Googling. That makes it too easy. And then I'll tell you later towards the end of my presentation. All right. Let's see how good your memories are for those of you who've been members for a long time. Just a little fun. I can't wait to see the guesses. In addition to opting into the print version of Augie World as a professional member, you can also get a membership to ADN, or the Autodesk Developer Network, for only $150. And trust me, that is a huge savings over the regular price. So if you happen to be someone who's even thinking about joining ADN, well, you might want to go through Augie to join. Both you and your pocketbook. You guys can thank me later. And also every year in late summer, we open up our most popular survey, the annual salary survey, which we encourage all our members to take part in. And our wonderful volunteer, Melanie Stone, she manages the survey, and she collates all the information, and the results show up in the September issue of Augie World. And since it focuses on your industry peers, it's a terrific way for you to see where you stand in relationship to others. And believe me, it really comes in handy. And you're also going to get our monthly hot news bulletin, where you can find links to interesting forum activity, to articles and industry news, or there might just be a vendor bulletin with some special money-saving offers just for our members. So I also just mentioned the forums, and you'll receive that valuable benefit as well. And the Augie forums have been around for years and years, and they contain a treasure trove of information and solutions. And there's an online community where Augie members can discuss the design software that they use every day. And as a member, you can post questions and you can get or give answers to and from other members, or you can just search the archives for your unique situation. The Augie forums are really one of the biggest benefits of being a member. Okay, but as great as they've been for the last 20 years or so, times do change. And recognizing this, Augie felt the need to change with them. So if you were at the annual general meeting back in December, you may remember the announcement about our new mobile app. And I am excited to tell you all that the app has now gone live and is just waiting for you to join our new community. And if you've ever built an app from the ground up, you know what a huge undertaking that can be. And that is exactly why Augie did not do that. Augie is full of some of the best and the brightest CAD and BIM professionals in the world, but that didn't necessarily translate very well to app development. So instead, our app is built on a proven mobile technology platform called Mighty Networks. And since this is a perk of being a member, it's not open to just anyone. You have to be an Augie member to join. So that's another great reason to sign up if you haven't already done so. And did I mention that joining is super easy? All you have to do is go to Augie.com and click on the orange Join Augie button in the upper right corner, or the big one on the left. And I'm going to make it even easier for you today. Just use your smartphone's camera to go there through this handy QR code. Okay. So many options. Any which way, just make sure you become a member. And remember that basic membership is always free. And look, hey, we can all afford free, right? So we're going to talk more about our new community mobile platform as AuggieCon continues. So stay tuned. Well, that is a lot about Augie and what they are, but who are they exactly and how does it work? Well, the simple answer is that Augie is you. It's members who want to get help or to give help and are often willing to volunteer their time and talents to help the organization achieve their goals. So with the exception of a few paid positions, everyone from the president of the board of directors on down, they volunteer their time. Augie it's a registered corporation, and it's led by a board of directors who are guided by the approved bylaws of the corporation. And consequently, you know, I would like to take a few minutes to introduce you to the amazing current board of directors. And the first four comprise the executive committee. First, we have your newly elected president, Eric DeLeon. The vice president is Frank Mayfield. Todd Rogers is the treasurer. And Christina Youngblood is the secretary. The other directors consist of Katie King. Katie is the outgoing president after having served for 3 years. Thank you so much, Katie. And the other directors are the great Scott Wilcox and Chris Lindner, who's also great. All of these people are amazing, and all of them have sacrificed so much of their time to help ensure that Augie is great. So that's your board of directors, and they meet monthly to make decisions about the day-to-day operations of the organization and the long-term direction. They're all volunteers, as I mentioned, and I can hear you all clapping virtually. Lots of hard work that goes in there. So the board is assisted with the business side of the operation by their executive director, David Harrington. Recently, the board voted to add an associate board to help with their vision going forward. There are 2 associate members right now, and they are Sean Hurley and Shelby Smith. Both Sean and Shelby will be participating in sessions during AuggieCon, so watch for them there. They're going to be great sessions, I'm sure. So that was what, like 10 names? Believe it or not, this event we're at and all eagerly anticipating was not only their brainchild, but everything you'll be experiencing here, good or possibly bad, we're hoping no bad, is due to their hard work. And having been involved in user conferences just a couple times, a few times in my life for a couple of huge software companies, I can tell you that 10 people can't make a decision on what kind of bagels to bring to a meeting, much less plan, create, and coordinate an entire event. So kudos to them. It's truly an amazing achievement. But that really, really shouldn't come as a surprise to those of us who've been members since the beginning, because you see, Auggie has always had high aspirations and has usually pulled off those lofty goals. And earlier I mentioned NOG, which was their original name. The NA stood for North America. And in the mid-90s, they decided to go international and they changed their name to Auggie to better reflect their new direction. You can just imagine the work and leadership necessary to make a move like that. It was a big deal, but they were able to do it. Now, of course, AuggieCon is more of an event. It's not an internal change, but Auggie has been no stranger to pushing the envelope there either. And for years, Auggie was a huge part of Autodesk University. For those of you who have been to Autodesk University, members enjoyed visiting their leaders there at AU and other members that they may have known only through the forums. And if you weren't a member, well, they were there to help you do the process there as well. And don't forget the cool swag you'd get every year. I mean, I know I still have some of mine. And prior to the digital age, before the land of apps, right? On your way to class, you'd always want to pick up the Auggie Hot News Daily. It was your one-stop shop for everything that was going to be going on that day. And it was also the venue for their annual general meeting or the AGM as prescribed by the bylaws, and typically a highlight of anyone's conference experience. And it was also where you could grab your complimentary beer mug, which definitely came in handy as the expo floor would open after the meeting. And for years, it was aptly named the Auggie Beer Bust. Okay, so that's a lot. But Auggie wasn't done giving back. For a number of years in the mid-2000s, again, just before the digital age began to take over, Auggie created and coordinated what they called CAD camps. And maybe some of you out there went to some of those. And the idea was that industry and software experts would travel from city to city, putting on a full day of classes, all to help users in person, face to face. And it was a bit of a grueling schedule. And I should know, because I was one of the presenters at quite a few of those CAD camps. But man, the users loved it because it was not only an incredible value, but it was sometimes their only way to connect with us in person. So, I mean, as you can see, Auggie is no stranger to putting on big events. And this one, AuggieCon, may be one of their most ambitious to date. So where did the idea come from? And why now? Like a lot of good ideas, there was no single eureka moment. It was the culmination of many ideas coming together. It was originally considered to be an extension of our Auggie World magazine, kind of like a live online version of the articles they publish, which, it was a good idea. And eventually that morphed into Auggie World, the podcast, which you can look for wherever you listen to podcasts. So a lot of ideas were kicked around for quite a while, but none really gained much traction. Then, during a board meeting last year, the topic of how the big tech conferences seem to be moving further away from having user-led sessions, but was being discussed. It seemed there were a lot of disgruntled users out there. So someone said, hey, how about we just do it ourselves? And with that, AuggieCon was born, and it was quickly decided that all sessions would be user-led, which it is. Just users helping users, like Auggie itself. Would you rather learn from people who use the software or people who sell the software? We even stuck a 24 on the end in hopes that it would become an annual event. See, we're very optimistic. All right, so let's take a closer look at those who will be leading our live presentations here on day one. Leading off AuggieCon and coming up right after I'm finished, Craig Swearingen and Grant Dott will teach you everything that you need to know about migrating your CAD system from AutoCAD to BricsCAD in the first session of our day. These two implementation leaders will talk about how they assist and direct various organizations in their migration to BricsCAD, emphasizing the establishment of vision, intention, and best methods. And then after that, at the 10 a.m. Eastern time slot, we'll have John Mayo presenting his best surface modeling tips, tricks, and hacks for enhancing your modeling methods in Civil 3D. And our final morning slot at 11, for those of you in Eastern time zone, will feature Andrea Mueller with another Civil 3D class, this time focusing on a powerhouse of production, the code set style, or CSS. Andrea will break down the code set style into all its components and take a deep dive into customizing the CSS to improve your efficiency and quality. Wow, what a great morning we have planned for you. Okay, but we're just getting started. So if you're in the Eastern time zone, at that point it's going to be noon and time for you to have lunch. If not, we're going to be taking an hour-long break. So let's all use that to be productive in some way, right? When we return at 1 Eastern, it's Revit time with the very popular Revit geek himself, Brian Mackey. And if you've ever struggled with having your families becoming unstable, wait, we're talking about software, right? Or even breaking down during an upgrade, you'll want to catch Brian's session on the essentials of proper family creation. And the rest of the afternoon is all about managing our design software, but don't worry, we'll have plenty of other great software-focused sessions tomorrow. We start with Brian Sandberg showing us how to leverage Autolisp and Microsoft PowerShell to collect valuable data from all your AutoCAD installations. With Brian's methods, you can have important diagnostic information such as the currently installed patch, the free memory available, or even the temp folder size right at your fingertips, allowing you to better analyze the problems. I mean, I can see where that would come in handy, right? And then, finally at 3 o'clock Eastern, this might be my very favorite session, by the way. We've gone all in on gathering an all-star panel to discuss issues facing CAD and BIM managers, led by the head all-star CAD manager himself. Hello, Robert Green. How's this for a lineup of panelists? We've got R.K. McSwain, a CAD manager, Alex Lepeska, a CAD and BIM manager, Shelby Smith, who is a civil information modeling manager, and David Butts, an engineering technology manager. All amazing people, by the way. You know, I mean, I feel smarter just introducing those names to you. Imagine all of the tips and tricks and great information you're going to soak up with all that expertise and experience. So this session is scheduled for 90 minutes instead of our usual hour, and we may even end up with more time at the end for questions and answers. Okay, this is a session, by the way, not to be missed. And then after that, we'll have a brief closing session that you're going to want to stick around for. Now, tomorrow, for day 2 of AuggieCon, we'll have the same daily format, but the opening session is going to be brought to you by the one and only Sean Bryant. Sean's going to be coming to you live from his home office in England, and we'll recap today's events and introduce you to what you can expect from the second day of sessions. Now we understand that we're bringing this event to you on normal work days, and watching online sessions all day may not be in the cards for you, or at least your manager may not think it's in the cards for you, right? Maybe you just want to pop in on occasion for the sessions that interest you also. I mean, we totally get it. In fact, that's what we expect. So if you can't make it to a live session that interests you, I have great news. Remember those benefits of being an Auggie member that I discussed earlier? Well, one more benefit will be your members only access to any of the session recordings once they're up and ready to go. As an Auggie member and having registered for AuggieCon, You will get an email with a unique link that will let you view any session at your leisure via our new Augie community platform. So if you're an attendee here but haven't yet signed up, don't hesitate. Do it today. It's easy. And did I mention it's free? So it's almost time to kick it all off. But I have one more thing for you before I go. Did anyone get my trivia question right? If you came in late or if you just have a short attention span like me, the trivia question was, who graced the cover of the very first Augie World magazine way back in the fall of 2002? And we had some very creative answers. The answer is our president at the time, not of the United States, but our Augie president at the time, Yoshi Honda. Yoshi from Hawaii. He was always a fan favorite for sure. So if I time this right, we should have a short break just before Craig and Grant begin their session at the top of the hour. So come on, grab a cup of your favorite morning beverage. I know that's what I'm going to do. Kick back and enjoy the first day of the very first AuggieCon 24. Thank you for your time.